we are saved not by our good works and by our moral performance, but by the grace of God through Jesus Christ. We're saved by Christ's work, not our work. But even though we're saved by faith alone and not by our good works, we are not saved by a faith that remains alone. That is to say, that though we're not saved by good works, real saving faith always issues in and causes good works. So Jesus Christ experienced darkness as his only friend, so in your darkness you can know that Jesus is still your friend. He's still there. Jesus was truly abandoned so that you will only feel abandoned, and you can know that God's still there. He's not going to abandon you, no matter what you've done wrong. Because of what Jesus Christ has done, he's taken the penalty. It all fell on him. It all fell into his heart. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he felt that darkness coming down on him, and he knew that he had to die in order to save us, he stayed with us. He did not abandon us in his darkness, so why in the world do you think he would abandon you and yours now? He won't do it.
Is that Dad is fundamentally a gifted encourager, and as a father, he encouraged us, his sons, up until the very end. But I do recall, as a 10-year-old or so, the morning daily routine of him, in his pajamas and us eating cereal. What are the Yankees like? Where are they in the standings? What's Derek Jeter's or Bernie Williams' batting average? He was into things that we were into, mostly because we were into it. But as we got older, everything got more complex. And his wisdom and his encouragement they deepened to us. He encouraged us in our walks with Christ, and he always met us where we were or where we weren't. He encouraged us in our marriages to be tender and gentle and kind, to be understanding and encouraging to our wives and our kids. And he encouraged us in our professions, learning what we liked and often actually learning more about our own field of interest, and we would learn from him and be like, that's a really good point about city planning, Dad. And he celebrated our accomplishments, and he also defended us, and he encouraged us when things didn't go as planned. He lived out, obviously imperfectly as any human, the good news that he loved to talk about and write about, that we can move about in and into the world fearlessly, to be humble and gentle, and sometimes that comes at great cost, because Jesus came and died for us.
I've never been more moved than when I realized that Jacob suddenly realized what you and I need to realize, and that is the fulfillment we've been looking for in work, in building skyscrapers, in having wonderful spouses, in having lots of children, in making money. The blessing we've been looking for is actually in the face of God. And all we don't quite know how it worked. It's so moving. In Genesis 32, it says, and God blessed him there. And so you see, the blessing we need is in Jesus himself. Every part of Genesis points to Jesus. Jesus is the true Abraham, who in order to save us, went out not knowing whither he went. Jesus is the true Isaac, who was not just offered up, but actually lost his life. So that just as God could say to Abraham, now I know that you love me, because you did not withhold Abraham, your son, your only son, whom you love, from me, we can say to God about the true Isaac, looking at the cross, now we know that you love us because you did not withhold your son, your only son, from us.
Tim is with Jesus, healed, loved, more alive and happier than he has ever been.